He was dressed as I had fantasized he would be. Black suit, crisp white shirt, black tie, even the black patterned shoes. He held a glass of red wine in his hand, but placed it on the coffee table as I approached. No need to talk this time, no time for questions and answers. I simply moved towards him, placed my hands on his shoulders, and then pulled him towards me, my hand moving up to feel his neck and the back of his head as we started to kiss and his arms encircled me. I'd somehow known it would come to this, even though we had only met 24 hours earlier in rather more formal surroundings. He'd welcomed me into that panelled room, a sophisticated space for our first meeting, but the way he looked at me, just a flicker of recognition that promised far more than we were there for, suggested there was something not on the formal agenda that would have to be addressed pretty quickly. And as we shook hands, the hold lingered for just a second longer than required, as though our fingers already wanted to be better acquainted. He was considerably shorter than me, but stockier too. The bulky frame of a man past his prime perhaps, but that didn't bother me, because I'd always enjoyed sex with men who knew what they wanted from years of experience. I knew from what I'd been told that he was 20 years older than me, the perfect age gap for someone like me wanting to benefit from that greater wealth of knowledge. And judging from that fast eye contact, the glint of interest that went beyond the formality of the occasion, I didn't think it would be that much of a problem getting him to share. He was bald on top, with a closely cropped fringe of neat grey hair around the sides, and a neatly trimmed goatee that provided an attractive frame to a smiling, sensual mouth. He was dressed formally in a grey suit that hugged his frame, and a shirt and tie that I guess would cover a rugged, hairy chest. The conversation went as you might expect, an exchange of pleasantries, mutual questioning, nothing to make me think he was imagining sucking my cock. But all the time he spoke, I could see myself not too far in the future, bent over that large desk, my trousers and pants round my ankles, while he stood behind me, spanking my eager ass. Then he would drop his trousers, pull his cock out of his skimpy, bulging briefs, and thrust it straight in between my willing cheeks, ramming it home until he felt his white-hot cum spurting up inside me, and he slumped against my back, exhausted by the exertion. But it wouldn't stop there, because then I would turn, force him to his knees, and encourage him to suck my aching cock until I too could hold it no longer. And as I pulled away, spunk would shower that handsome face, dripping from his beard onto the white shirt. With this energetic scenario through my imagination, I didn't feel I had contributed as much to proceedings as I could have done, and suddenly the meeting was drawing to a close. I stood up to leave, and couldn't help notice that his eyes strayed to the unavoidable bulge in my groin that a tight-fitting black pinstripe was having trouble camouflaging. He smiled as he took my hand once more, and was saying a formal goodbye when he added, apparently as an afterthought, "You know, there's a lot more we need to discuss. Not here, though. I have a really busy schedule this week and can't squeeze you in." There was a brief pause as he appeared to consider his next move, and then he said, "Come around to my home tomorrow evening and we'll take things further." "I don't want to intrude," I tried to protest, but not too convincingly. "I'm sure your wife doesn't like you bringing business home." "No need to worry about that," he replied. "I'm home alone this week. I can do what I want." Again, the hand lingered just a moment too long in mine as he gave me the address and I left, hoping and guessing what tomorrow evening would bring. He groaned slightly as our tongues sought each other, his goatee just slightly and enticingly tickling me, making my lips tingle with anticipation. Somehow we headed back towards the sofa and fell back into the plump cushions, his hands roaming across my body as he enjoyed the sensation of caressing his neck, running through the clipped hair, moving upwards to stroke his beautifully sexy bald head. I'd never realised before just how much of a turn on a bald head could be, as I found myself first kissing, then licking that shining expanse of flesh as though it was a massive phallus. And then I strayed to his ears, small, with neat lobes that I sucked and nipped just enough to make him gasp a little before I returned to placing my tongue between his teeth, darting in and out, then exploring deeper, feeling into the pleasurable darkness for the tongue that was as responsive as mine. "I couldn't stay away. I just had to be here to show you how I feel," I murmured as our lips parted for just seconds before finding each other again. By now he was tugging at my belt, undoing the buckle, an expert hand unfastening my trousers enough so that he could slip his hand in and find